Hey friends, you may have heard me say yesterday, I'm gonna lift this up a little bit, how I wanted to show you guys how to make the dinner I made this week, which is super tasty, super low carb, freaking easiest thing I've made in a while. So what I'm gonna show you how to make tonight is a beef and cabbage stir fry, okay? So all you need to make this is you need about 1/2 pound of ground beef, whatever percentage of fat you like. I like the really lean ground beef. You need some soy sauce. You need some sesame oil. You need some brown sugar, some sriracha. I used for my cabbage these pre-shredded classic coleslaw mixes. And these are so easy. You don't have to shred your cabbage, so I really like these. So what you do is, this ad keeps playing on my computer and it's driving me nuts. So I'm going to turn it off in just a second. But, so heat up some sesame oil in your pan. Here, I'm actually going to point this down so you can see. Heat up some sesame oil in your pan and then throw in the bag of coleslaw mix. Something I love about this recipe is that it's actually super low carb because your noodles, which would be your stir fry noodles, are, in this case, cabbage. So I'll just cook those down in this sesame oil. You can probably use another kind of oil, but what I like about the sesame oil is that it kind of gives a nice little nutty flavor, which is something that's really common in Asian dishes. So like a lot of Asian dishes like to use a peanut sauce, and this kind of imparts that a little bit of nuttiness into the stir fry without having to do the peanut sauce, which is a little bit heavier. So what I'm going to do, stupid ad keeps playing, just a second. So irritating. Okay, so you'll heat your cabbage up in the pan until it starts to get wilted. So I've already done this next step, but if you haven't yet, the next thing you can do is you can make up your stir fry sauce. So the stir fry sauce is a mixture of 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of sriracha. Even if you don't like spicy, you should use sriracha because it imparts really good flavor on the dish. If you don't want a lot of spice, maybe do a half a tablespoon instead of a full tablespoon. And then you also want to do your half tablespoon of brown sugar, which gives a little bit of sweetness to the sauce. So this is half of that. So what I'm making right now is actually a half recipe. So I have my sauce all mixed up in here from the last time I made this. The other thing you'll need is the beef. So either while you're doing the cabbage, or actually I suggest prior to doing the cabbage, but either way will work. You're going to want to take a 1/2 pound of ground beef and just saute it in some ground ginger and some garlic until there's no more pink. So just saute that up in ginger and garlic. So I already have that as well. So I meal prepped on Sunday, but I didn't want to make all of it because this is such a veggie-based dish, and veggies don't keep as well. So I meal prepped half of it on Sunday, and then I'm doing the other half tonight with you guys. So this is starting to get a little bit wilted now. So then so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my ground beef into it and start mixing my ground beef in. Again, if you have this cooked up fresh, that's perfect. If you already have some ground beef cooked up from something else and you've got some leftovers, this is a good way to use your leftovers. I wouldn't suggest using taco seasoning spiced ground beef in this. That might taste kind of weird. But you just throw your ground beef in. You can see in my pan down here. Throw your ground beef in and mix it in to the cabbage. And then after you've mixed it in, I'm going to mix. And then, it already smells good, and I've like barely added anything. Once it's all mixed, then you want to add your stir fry sauce. So again, this is the soy sauce, sesame oil, sriracha, and brown sugar. I'm going to just pour that on. Oh, that darn ad keeps playing. If you can hear it, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can though. So I like to mix it in a little bit before it's totally and completely done, because then all of the flavors get kind of tossed together. And it seriously smells so good. Seriously, this is a good recipe if you're ever have like a Chinese craving and really want some Chinese food but don't really want all the carbs. This is a really good option. I just found this recipe. I'm like freaking out about it. This is one of those ones that if you've ever tried my paleo pad thai, you'll probably really like this too. So mix. And this is basically good to go. Like, look how little prep that took. Again, I did cook my ground beef ahead of time, so that definitely saves on prep time. But this is kind of one of those examples of meal prep what you can. Even if you don't want to make everything ahead of time, just doing something can really save you a lot of time. So you can still have a healthy dinner and not have it like take you a half an hour when you get home. So this is good to go. But what I'm also going to do, which is super good with this, is I'm going to cut up some green onions. So I'm just making this for me. So a lot of this is going to go into the refrigerator as leftovers. But if you're making it for lots of people, if you're making this for lots of people, you can go ahead and take the whole thing, top it with some chopped up green onions, and then drizzle it with a little bit of sriracha. And it's a really yummy, really balanced, low carb meal. So this is great for those of you that are doing something like 21 Day Fix. And those yellows are kind of precious, right? Those yellow containers, they're your carb containers for those of you that aren't familiar with 21 Day Fix. And I don't know about you, but I like me some carbs. So I always seem to run out of those. So to make a dinner like this, that is super healthy, filling, but doesn't eat up all my carbs, is really nice. So I'm just going to take some of my nice, yummy, sauteed cabbage stir fry. It smells so good, you guys. They need to make smell-o-vision for Facebook Live. They really do. Got that. Turn off my heat so that cools down. Top it with some green onions. Drizzle it with a little bit of sriracha. Okay, that was a little more than I wanted. It's going to be a little spicy tonight. Then, check out this finished product. It'll look very... There we go. That is the finished product. So that is my nice low-carb beef and cabbage stir fry. Super freaking easy. I think that was about... I mean, if you don't count the sauces, it was like 3 ingredients. So super easy, 4 ingredients. But all together, it's a lot of stuff that a lot of us have around our house anyway. I know a lot of us are big sriracha fans. So sriracha, soy sauce, a lot of those things you already have around your house. Some ground ginger, ground garlic. So all you really need then to make this is to get one of those pre-shredded coleslaw mixes at the store. Use that for your shredded cabbage in your stir fry, and use some ground beef. And it's just as easy as that. I'm gonna eat me a yummy dinner right now. Look how good that looks. I'm gonna eat me some dinner. And yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. Cake, so easy to make. And yeah, if you kind of like this kind of stuff, cooking with me, kind of seeing some of the recipes I make, this is one of the easiest ones I found in recent years, other than the crock pot ones, which are also absolutely cake to make. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have any other recipe requests, let me know. And otherwise, I will talk to you later. Bye!